Pretty sure that one of them is the same as yours. Which one of these are the same?
I'm pretty sure.
Bronx, shut the up. Boom, boom.
Hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of CO in Rome.
This is Yo.
And this is Rome. And this is episode number 41.
Yo.
Yo, couple things. Best podcast of 2018, undisputed.
You heard?
If you want to dispute it, head on over, send us an email at coinrome@gmail.com. We welcome your disputes.
Yep.
And also a big shout out to afgoclothing.com. If you want to buy a sweatshirt, a hoodie, a t-shirt, you can go over there, get you some CO in Rome merch.
Yep. They have a couple of other things too. Check us out first though. And we have a discount code for you guys. It is ZONROME15. Take a picture, tag us in it. Let us see what you working with.
Yeah, get that 15% off, man.
Oh,
And thirdly, special announcement, which obviously has been posted on social media already. We've been accepted to Spotify podcast section.
whoop, whoop,
Yo, I've been trying to get us on there for a long ass fucking time.
This definitely opens the door to a lot of new listeners, and this is going to be a good look.
Yo, this is a big move. Like, you would think it would be harder to get on Apple Podcasts than Spotify, but it isn't. Mm-hmm. Spotify's process is just very, very meticulous. It was before, like, you had to be part of a music label to be on Spotify and all these submission rules, but
we even submitted something separately to Spotify.
Yeah, we wanted to be part of their podcast boot camp and all kinds of shit along the way. But, you know, a big thanks to Podbean, who's been our podcast host. They've been a great partner and played a huge role in making sure we got on Spotify. So
absolutely.
Thank you for that. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's fabulous.
How are you doing?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good right now. It's Monday evening.
It is. People didn't know that, but they know that now.
5 p.m. And I just want to say this for the record because I didn't go to work today. And, dude, I've had a migraine since Friday night.
Yeah.
And listen, there's nothing worse than a migraine that just lasts forever. And, like, no matter what you fucking do, it just doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Dude, I've slept with the ice pack on my head. I've sniffed alcohol. I've rubbed alcohol on my forehead.
Did you rub Vicks on your forehead?
I was tempted.
Okay.
I was tempted. I've done it before, but when I saw the alcohol wasn't working, I was like, man, nothing's going to work.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to work.
And like headaches are so stressful because they are like such an intense, sharp pain.
Like these migraines were the ones that like my head physically hurt.
Oh, like even touching your scalp.
Yes. Like it was a headache, like just mentally draining, very physical. And I was feeling very nauseous with it.
Mm-hmm. He was like, that's it. It's a wrap.
I can't do nothing, man. I was just laying around watching Luke Cage and shit. Not doing anything productive with my life.
Yeah, I get it.
I did work Saturday morning. I pushed through it, but I mean, geez. Terrible. One day I'm gonna write a poem all about how much I hate migraines because I know there's other people out there that can relate to this shit.
I'm so about helping you out on that if you want.
Migraines in my head.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Clusterfuck in my brain.
Can't solve it with any pill. Acetephenin. What the fuck is Tylenol?
What?
Acetephenin. Wait.
No. Nope. Just give up. Nope. As I asked you to go on.
What is that shit called?
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
The ingredient that's in Tylenol.
Amphetamine?
Yes. Acetephenin and ibuprofen.
I thought you were going to say acetone, like nail polish remover. I'm like,
acetephetamine. Whatever. That shit wasn't working, man. But let me tell you. There are these fucking herbs.
Are you still talking in spoken word? There are these fucking herbs.
No, I moved on from the poem. But I finally tried this blend of herbs yesterday that started to alleviate some of the pain. It didn't completely cure me of it, but sometimes Mother Nature knows best.
That's true.
Sometimes.
And look at you now, podcasting and shit.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave you guys hanging this week, so
here we are.
Enjoy. Speaking of, I mentioned the Luke Cage thing. I know you didn't really watch the full season 1. Probably didn't get into season 2 yet.
Right.
But without any spoilers, I just want to say I've watched the entire 2nd season of Luke Cage.
Already?
Yes. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
My brother was telling me about it. He was like, yo, I cannot wait to go back home and just fucking binge right now. He's
really?
like, it's that great. He said it was reckless, just like you did.
I thought he didn't like it.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, you know me, like I got a thing for villains.
Yeah, you really do.
The villain is very interesting, right? And not so much the character himself, but the guy who plays him.
Okay.
And I looked him up, like what else he's done, and this is like his big fucking break. But the thing is that I feel like when it comes to these Marvel TV shows on Netflix, it's such a small niche. Like if you go to this guy's Instagram right now, it's not even popping on the level that it should be.
Yeah.
Such an amazing actor. The character has a very strong Jamaican dialect. He's nailing that shit. Like you would think that dude's Jamaican, but he's not. And I've read an interview where he talked about all the things that he did to prepare for this role. And I'm just like so impressed, not just with him.
What's his real name?
I think it's Mustafa.
That's his real name?
Mustafa.
Look him up on your recent searches.
Shakir. Mustafa Shakir.
What is his ethnicity?
He's just a black dude. Super black. Super black. You know? But
what's his ethnicity? He's black. Super black.
I think he's just African American.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And man, I mean, I just think that there's a lot of great acting in it. And whether or not it's true to the comic, I can't even get into that because I never was into the Luke Cage comics. But they're really like a lot more cursing in it. And not so much cursing, like they just
promiscuous.
Like, it's just very, it feels very gully.
Okay.
A lot gully. Of 70s music and the transitions really paying homage to like the time period in which the comic was popping.
That's dope.
Very active. Nice little crossover with Danny from Iron Fist, which I wasn't a big fan of. Overall, it's like I can't wait for the next season.
Okay, I'm gonna jump on it then.
Yes.
I'm gonna jump on it.
And talking about all things super black, I apparently Ancestry DNA.
Oh yes.
Okay, so the way
let me check if mine updated while you speak on that.
Yeah, so basically what I'm learning with each of these companies that offer DNA testing services that help you figure out your ethnicity or your lineage or whatever, right? Basically what they do is they purchase data sets, right? And what they do is they test your DNA against their database of data to see if there's a match or not.
Okay.
Well, Ancestry DNA has recently expanded their library of data to test against, and now I have completely different fucking results than I did when I first took the tests. So, and I want to say that was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The changes are very subtle, but very interesting. For example, instead of 11% Native American, I'm like 14% Native American.
So do you feel like they all increased?
It depends. Like some of them were completely eliminated. Like
what?
Last time
that doesn't make me feel very good.
Well, here's the thing. It depends. It depends on what it is though. Because last time it said that I was less than 1% East Asian and less than 1% West Asian. They completely removed those.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
So
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just got a message from someone on my Ancestry DNA, last name Roman.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and they're saying, according to the DNA match list, we're third and fourth cousins. But I'm upset that me and you don't come out related.
I don't know. Maybe we related now that we got this new data. I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know, man. But this shit is so fucking interesting. So, look, it's science. I don't expect it to be 100% legit, but I'm very interested in seeing ancestry DNA evolve and to continue to acquire more data to make their results a little more accurate. But I am a firm believer in ancestry DNA because there's no information that I've given them to confirm that my lineage is tied back to Eastern Puerto Rico.
Yeah, same here. And I'm Western Puerto Rico. And I all I did was spit in a tube. That's it.
Yeah.
And they were able to come back with all of that information.
So they're like, oh, your lineage goes all over the place, but in terms of your migration, it's tied directly to PR, and that in itself is impressive. But yeah, if you've always wanted to learn more about who you are, where you come from, and all that, try out Ancestry DNA.
Yeah, hit me up first. I might be able to get you a discount code and in return get something.
Yeah, we both got discount codes. Hit up either of us. It's the battle of the discount referral.
Mine still
choice.
hasn't updated, so whatever. So far, I still stay in the same.
Okay.
Let's see what else. Oh, I kind of wanted to touch on the XXXTentacion.
XXXTentacion.
Yes, which before we get into the seriousness behind that, I would kind of want to touch base and let all of our listeners know that Rome was having an argument with me about how you really say this guy's name.
And I even clowned Andrew Scholes for it.
Yes.
For pronouncing it mad Spanish. But upon further research,
that's his name.
It's been determined that the way his name is pronounced is XXXTentacion.
Right. And
I stand corrected.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
He was actually shot in Florida.
Miami
to be exact, which I believe is his hometown.
Fort Lauderdale, something like that.
Somewhere in that area. And quite a lot of news that came from, this happening to him. Obviously, he's a very young man, 20 years old.
Yeah.
He had a lot of past mistakes, but it did seem to me as of late that he was trying to change his life around.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's sad because I keep seeing things that are referencing back to like, oh, well, he did this or and listen, I am so not about a man hitting a woman. I'm so not about a woman hitting a man. Everybody needs to keep their hands to themselves. However, I don't think that it's something that should be brought up when a life is lost.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, at the end of the day, he was a young kid. I think it's sad when you start to see a pivotal moment in someone's life and it's almost like something clicked in his head and it was all making sense. And he was talking about, trying to be a revolutionary mind and positive things and trying to speak to his fans in a different way than what they were used to seeing of him. And he was taken out too soon, man.
Yeah, I mean, my view of it is that if someone does grimy ass shit, they do grimy ass shit, and it's cool to feel however the fuck you want to feel about whatever grimy shit they did.
But a life is still a life.
A life is a life. I do agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, I feel that it's disrespectful to the dead when you shit on them when they die, especially suddenly like this. It's like, what's the point?
Right.
But on the flip side, I'm not going to sit here and sing your praises if you did some grimy shit. Like, I ain't going to be phony about it.
I'm not going to be phony, and I'm not going to start listening to your shit when I wasn't listening to it before, and I'm not going to praise you, but I'm going to have enough respect to,
I was never a fan of this kid. You know what I mean? But what I will say is that it's always sad to see people go in general, right. But I say in his case, he was still a baby. He was to me, baby. Like 20 years old. That's like super young.
Do you remember being 20 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the things, how you thought when you were 20 years old?
Yeah, totally different
person.
He's
a baby.
Yeah, that just makes me feel really sad. And the thing is that with like Tupac and Biggie, it's like they were 24 and people were like, oh my God, these guys were so young with so much ahead of them. And
right, which was true.
And they were making huge impacts before they died.
Now imagine if this kid, he had such a large following. Mm-hmm. Imagine if he would have had that full switch and turn around. How much of a difference he probably could have made to people who, or young kids that thought like him. I think that it's sad that it, you know, you didn't get to see it play out completely the way that you should. I think that it's interesting too how there was a video that was shown from Joe Budden on Everyday Struggle when he pretty much called this years ago. He called out how, you know, the way that this guy was saying things and the way he was going about things was just very, very dangerous. And a lot of people don't take the street code when it comes into this whole new hype of social media and talking shit and trolling, to the point where Tekashi 69, after XXXTentacion's death,
good job,
thanks, started reneging on his trolling,
you know. And that was one of the very first things that came to mind, is that after seeing this dude get shot, I hope Tekashi 69 like starts to realize that this shit is real. Like, you know, it could get real quick.
And I don't think that
and he did post some shit like, yo, I'm realizing I need to chill.
That
like,
maybe he be trolling too much, which is crazy, because if you recall when Tekashi 69 was on The Breakfast Club and Charlamagne was pretty much preaching to him about this, he was like, no, who's gonna come for me? Who's gonna come for me? I stay on the block. Homie, all it takes is one crazy motherfucker. That's all it takes.
Yeah, and shout out to Budden too. Like, Budden was getting into it with academics about how niggas keep being reckless. They're gonna end up getting shot, or they're gonna end up getting killed. And Budden was so like passionate when he was saying it at the time. And you know, like,
he sounded like somebody's mom though. You keep away from that little nigga. You keep away from that little nigga. You leave that shit on him.
And you know what I'm realizing, and I'm like learning to embrace it. Like, I've joked about it, like I'm that auntie, but then it hit me the other day, like, yo, I'm really an aunt. Like, I got a 10, 11-year-old niece, you know, but like, I'm like, oh shit, I'm an auntie. And then I realized, oh shit, you're an aunt too.
Yeah.
We're aunties, son.
I know, bitch. I'm also a mother.
You're a mother. We're aunties. And we out here, you know, schooling people that are just maybe a few steps behind, which I have a story to follow that once we get off this shit.
Yeah.
But back to this shit. I want to talk a little bit about the guy that got arrested. Okay. If that's okay.
Yes.
So this guy's name, Dedrick Williams. Basically, what it came down to is niggas being reckless on social media. And not only that, they found surveillance of him, I think, buying the fucking mask.
I don't know about that part. I know about the social media of him. I didn't read about the buying the mask.
Yeah, they got a subpoena for like some store surveillance from when he was purchasing something prior to the shooting. That SUV, that was the same SUV at the motorcycle shop where the killing took place, was also caught on surveillance at this other store. And the nigga was wearing bright orange fucking slides, bro.
Dumbass. Fucking dumbass.
Like, come on. I mean, ultimately, I think all around that people need to, man, look at these slides. They're like Tony the Tiger orange, bro.
Ugh, what an idiot.
I just think that people just need to be mindful. Like, I understand social media. It's so easy for people to get reckless and not think before they post. Don't get killed out here being reckless.
Son, I just think that there's something like that's, sorry, I'm going to say it. I don't fucking care. I think that is dumb thugging. That's pretend dumb thugging, because if real niggas that I know that are really about that street life, they don't talk about anything that they do. And we've talked about this before too. If you really about that life, there's very, very, very seldom people that know you are about that life. You may come off like, nah, I'm about that life, leave me the fuck alone. But that's as far as it's gonna go, because nobody knows your business enough to point a finger at you about doing something.
And then being a grown, mature thug, what you really want is for someone to not test you, because you don't want to let the monster out the box.
Word up.
You don't be out here bragging. You be like old, lazy as fuck.
Yeah, you look
to the couch.
Chill.
Like, nigga, please don't make me get off this couch.
Yes. Which is another thing that.
Please don't.
Which is another thing that Buttons touched on when he was preaching to academics about the whole staying away from XXXTentacion. His name is a mouthful, bro.
Yeah.
Anyways, so XXX, we're gonna call him XXX, okay? Buttons was basically saying, let's be 100. Like, none of us here are street niggas. He's like, whoever's not a street nigga here, raise your hand. And A1 was there. What's that guy's name? Was his name? No, it's his name, not Young Thug. Young Berg.
Young Berg.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a throwback.
Yeah, Young Berg, A1, and Academics, Nadeska, and Buttons were all sitting around talking about it. And he's like, everybody who's not a street nigga here, raise your hand. Buttons even raised his hand. Everybody raised their hand. He's like, I'm not ashamed of that. He's like, when street niggas hit my line, I don't talk to them. I refer them to my OGs. That's some real shit.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, you got to know what role you playing. If you not about that life, leave it alone, homie.
Yo.
Leave it alone.
Talking about real street niggas, though, let's talk a little bit about this kid in the Bronx that got killed. Lesandro Guzman-Feliz, a.k.a. Junior. All right, here's the gist of the story. I may be leaving out some details, but the bottom line is that this kid was 15 years old, was killed in a senseless gang attack, basically was mistaken for someone else, and they stabbed him multiple times with a machete. Okay? And then after they killed him, they issued an apology. The gang leader issued an apology saying, like, wrong dude, so sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now, have you seen a picture of the dude that they were actually looking for?
It looks a lot like him.
Dude, down to the earrings and everything.
I don't give a fuck, though.
But either way, like, nah, it's not cool. You know, I was reading something so fucked up on social media today. It was saying, how is it that gang processes are more legit than the police these days?
Well, I mean,
so basically the gang leader like kicked out the dudes that were involved in this killing for killing the wrong guy, and they're like, but when a cop does a killing, they can't even fucking fire a cop until shit like that. Shit's mind-boggling, but that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is some mothers out there grieving because their 15-year-old kid was minding a fucking business and got hacked the fuck up for no fucking reason. And that's a problem.
Not only is it a problem because of the situation at hand, the clear situation at hand, but I am so disturbed by the fact that this kid probably visited this bodega daily. He's from that neighborhood. The people at the bodega did absolutely nothing to intervene because the stabbing with the machete and all of the beating didn't take place till they exited him, drug him out of the bodega. You're telling me that if somebody would have put up a fight, that couldn't have been at least maybe stopped? We'll never know. But something could have been done.
Yeah. I think they arrested like 3 cats.
5 of them are in custody.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you know the reasoning behind them looking for him?
From what I put together from multiple headlines, something about a woman claiming dude raped her.
So but it
turns out that she may have even been lying about it.
The exact details are that one of the guys who was stabbing him is the uncle to a young lady who made a video having sexual intercourse with a young man. And another young man who this person was mistaken identity for was recording. And then the guy that was recording ended up having sex with her as well on video. So they put it on the internet and it was all over the place. The uncle saw it and now was looking for this kid that was recording it and was the one that put it out on the internet. That's when they mistaken Junior for this cat.
So basically, he wanted to dead a nigga because his niece was being a hoe.
Pretty much. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that at that point, because the niece was embarrassed, maybe she said something, maybe she came to him crying. Who knows what the scenario is? But at the end of the day, that's still fucking crazy to me for that to be a reason for you to go stabbing some nigga.
Yeah.
Even if they would have gotten the right person. Really? Maybe you should talk to your thought ass little niece. Yeah. Sorry.
I agree with that. I mean, this is like so crazy because I like just finished watching this Luke Cage shit, and like I was watching shit like this on a fucking fictional fucking TV show.
Yeah.
And when you start to see like shit like this happening in real life, it just is like, it's nothing but blurred lines between fiction and reality. Right. It's like, it starts to desensitize you to reality.
I think that's happening a lot. A lot of that generation is so desensitized by so much real shit.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, very sad. I'm at a loss for words, like, overall.
Super sad. And also, like, word of advice for any young ladies that may listen, y'all all could do whatever the fuck you want. It's our bodies. We do whatever the hell we want. However, be aware that, like, if you don't want your shit being known, don't do things that are going to let your shit be known, like recording yourself having sex. You give that power to someone else who has that in their hands to do whatever the fuck they want with it. So just be a little smarter.
Now, my question for you, should she at all be held accountable for this? I've been seeing that question circulating.
That's difficult because I can see how maybe she helped perpetuate the anger behind everything that was happening. But she didn't take any physical acts. And
like she didn't make no call.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure she
exactly. It probably got out there. Someone probably checked her on the shit, right. And then she's like, "Oh, they forced me to do it."
Yeah,
you know,
which happens a lot.
Like
that happens a lot.
Slut shaming ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? But
just be aware. Nobody can do something that you won't allow them to do. So listen.
I think for her, it's going to be difficult for her to go on the rest of her life knowing that
somebody's life that had nothing to do with anything was taken at such an early age because of something that was done.
And on the dudes too, like that's a heavy thing to carry.
For sure.
Yo, mad respect to Junior and his family. I hope you guys find the peace that you all deserve.
Yeah, you're in our prayers.
This is a lot, bro. Yeah.
So I saw something that I showed you on Facebook, and I want to talk about it because it makes me really upset. There's a lot of crazy shit happening.
Okay.
So I saw a video about this little baby. He was about to be baptized.
Yeah, we're so late with all the news. You know what I hate? Because we record our shit on Sundays. That shit that happens either that day or throughout the week. Like, we be kind of reporting late.
That's
but
okay.
Yes.
So there was a video, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it, of a family. It looked like a mom and dad, and maybe the godmother of the baby was, standing around the little baptismal fountain thingy-majingy where the baby gets dipped.
Like a Catholic joint?
Yeah. And the priest was holding the baby's face, and the baby was clearly upset. He was crying, and the priest was holding his face, trying to calm him down. And they're speaking, I'm assuming it's either Italian or maybe Portuguese, because I understood a lot of the words, and Spanish and Italian and Portuguese are really similar.
Yeah.
So I can hear him saying, calma, calma to the baby, basically telling the baby to calm down. And you can tell that he started to get frustrated with the baby crying. Do you know this motherfucker slapped the baby across his face? And I swear, it was like 10-15 seconds before any adult that was around took action, and it ended up being the father. But I could not believe that people were just standing around watching this happen, and the baby's like flipping out. I would have punched the shit out of this priest father, whatever the fuck he is, and drowned him in that baptismal fountain water shit. I would have, oh my God, I can't. I would have drowned this motherfucker, and then I would have slapped him while he was wet, because it hurts. Have you ever gotten hit while you're wet? Maybe. Shit hurts, man. It hurts a lot.
Yeah, like you just get out the shower, your ass be all wet, and someone smack you in the ass.
That shit hurts, bruh.
Yeah.
So I would have killed that priest.
Or like back in the day when you used to have a wet towel.
And you just go squat and like hit somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. Nah, you know what? Something about Catholic priests.
Yeah.
They're just so fucking awkwardly uncomfortable about the way they move, fam. Not all of them, but it's just like, what? I just feel there's a sense of over entitlement because of their position in the church.
Yes.
That they feel they could do anything and that no one's going to check them. Like, you still a human being at the end of the day, fam.
Mind you, this dude looked like he was like 80 years old.
Nah.
So, and the baby was maybe one. I would have, slapped my baby even if he's 25. Watch what happened.
What I'm about to say is going to be really fucked up.
Okay. I'm ready.
I want to apologize to any of our listeners who may be of Catholic, the Catholic belief system.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of things revealed in Catholicism, specifically when it comes to the priest. And I'm not going to shit on Catholicism because, like, nuns are some of the most amazing fucking women that are out there. They out here not fucking and talking to God every day.
Right.
And fucking saving the world and doing all that shit.
Right.
But them priests is grimy as fuck, listening to your sins, telling you what to fucking do. And then they touching little boys' pee-pees at Boy Scout meetings.
There has been enough.
A lot of them. Yeah. It's a lot of weird ass shit. So for me, I feel that I would be reluctant to bring my child into this type of space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then after you notice the first little shaky shake of your baby and you don't respond, it's kind of like hard for me to feel bad for them because they didn't have that impulse to intervene until it went too far.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just the way that he was holding his face was uncomfortable to me. Like I could already, you know how like I'm really, really intuitive. So like just the way that he was holding him seemed off to me. At that very moment, I would have been like, I'm sorry, we're not getting baptized today. I'll catch you on the flip side.
I just feel like they kind of let it go too far. So I'm just like, I kind of feel that the parents should be held accountable too.
I know, but I would still.
That's child abuse. Is anybody calling Child Protective Services?
It's child abuse for the priest. I think it's child neglect for the parents.
I agree. Everybody got to get reported on.
The church gonna get it. The sidewalk the church was built is gonna get it. All of that. Or the city.
They need to all get it.
Yep.
Save that baby. Justice for
priest baby.
What is it? Baptized baby.
Yep, I'm with it.
All right, we starting a fucking campaign. You ready to get into some pop culture in the news? Kind of a mix of both. Okay. So first things first, doesn't even require a long conversation, but I just want to note that Cardi B and Offset got married in September 2017 before he proposed to her.
What?
It was speculated, but Cardi made some comments that confirmed it.
So they've already been married?
Yeah. So apparently what Cardi's comment says was that they were kind of going through their ups and downs at the times, breaking up, making up, what she called like immature arguments. And one day they woke up in the morning and it was just her, Offset, and her cousin, and they went and kind of eloped or whatnot. And then she says he still wanted me to have that special moment. So that's why he proposed afterwards. But she was like, at the time they got married, there was no ring or anything like that. So she was like, yeah, and that's why I call my album Invasion of Privacy, because y'all motherfuckers be invading my privacy. And for all you motherfuckers saying I'm having a baby out of wedlock, well, now you know what the fuck's going on. So congratulations.
Oh, Cardi.
Congratulations are in order for that.
Yeah.
And then I want to talk a little bit about Permit Patty.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I heard briefly about this, but I don't know enough to talk about it. Go ahead.
So, San Diego, California, if I'm not mistaken, Permit Patty is a white woman who was outside and saw a black 8-year-old girl selling water. And apparently, according to Permit Patty, the mom and the daughter were loud as fuck trying to sell their water. Now, I ain't mad, because you trying to get the attention of the people to buy this water on this hot summer day.
Correct. So that sun is hot right now.
Permit Patty apparently was either calling the police or fake calling the police. The police won't confirm or deny whether or not a call was actually made. And now Permit Patty is claiming she wasn't even calling the police for real, that she was just pretending. But she was basically pretending on the call to say, oh, there's a little girl here selling water and shouldn't she have a permit and blah, 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 blah. Well, Permit Patty was caught on camera and now she's been harassed up and down all the alleys of social media.
Sucks to suck.
And she cannot fucking handle it. Talking about she getting death threats and all kinds of shit. She crying on the news. All you see is just mayonnaise dripping out her face from all the crying. And you're like, oh, Jesus. And then you actually start to feel a little bad for her. You know what I'm saying? And then I find out today that apparently she's a businesswoman herself with some product called Treat Well Tinctures. Tinctures. I can't pronounce shit today. Tinctures. I know tincture.
You sound Chinese. Tincture.
I can't pronounce shit. Treat Well Tinctures.
Yes.
And some company called Magnolia, I guess, carried their product. And once this story broke, they're like, yo, we're no longer carrying this shit. They were like, it's one of our top selling products. We about to have a blowout sale of all this shit, and we are going to donate it to an organization.
So funny that you mentioned that, because I think Magnolia is, have you ever seen Fixer Upper, the show with the wife and the husband that do like house renovations? They're the owners of Magnolia.
Oh, by the way, they're pregnant again with like their 5th kid or something like that. Yeah. Shout out to you.
They're the owners of Magnolia.
Well, they dropping that bitch.
Oh, wow.
And this shit is just mind blowing to me. Like, I get the whole permit situation. And I know this sounds stupid as fuck, but have you ever had like a lemonade stand as a kid?
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say it's fucked up that in the suburbs, these kids have regular lemonade stands and everybody's like joining around, like thinking it's the cutest thing. They don't have fucking permits.
Well, once I got to a certain age, I was actually afraid to have lemonade stands because I knew that there were quote unquote permits. And I was always warned by the adults in my neighborhood, like,
be careful,
because if one of these neighbors or one of these people here decide to complain, you actually could get told to shut this shit down because you don't have a permit. Mm-hmm. And that was back in the, I'm a kid when people are telling me this. So it's just crazy to me that Permit Patty is the lady that's gonna call the cops on your 8-year-old kid trying to sell some fucking water.
Do you feel race has anything to do with it?
She says it doesn't.
Right. Well, I'm asking because in most of these lemonade stands, for the most part, I want to say 80% of it happens in the suburbs with little white kids, and the neighbors come out and they give them their little quarter or 50 cents for their little lemonade cups. And if I think that if in the hood a little black kid was to do that, it'd be Permit Patty around the corner.
Look, it's all speculation. This is what I'm gonna say about the race thing. I feel like if it was a little sweet white girl with pigtails, like, excuse me, ma'am, would you like to buy some water today? Versus little black girl, it's like, water.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on, but I feel like certain images trigger certain things for us, whether we realize it or not, even if it's subconscious. For example, that study where there's a little girl where they're like, oh, pick the baby doll that you want, and then she goes to pick the white baby doll. And I just feel like sometimes people are mentally programmed that white is good and that black is bad.
Yeah.
And whether or not she realizes that it's racist, like, she's not like, oh, I'm gonna call because she's a black girl selling water. She's probably more compelled to pick up that phone and dial 911 because it's a black little girl, whereas if it were a white little girl, she would have been like, oh, maybe a little annoying, so but that's the thing. Like, systematic racism,
that's real as fuck.
Is not like the racism that's like, I'm doing this because you're black. It's just because in your head you consider it a threat.
Right.
You consider it a threat because it's black, and that's what's fucked up about this, is she may not even realize it herself.
Yeah.
So
actually, I know a lot of people that do or say racist things and they're not even aware of it, and it has a lot to do with their upbringing, and they find themselves questioning how often they actually act or behave this way.
I think that we all are guilty of
we're all a little prejudiced,
doing certain things that are racist, and we don't even realize it in the moment. Here's my thing. Like, do I feel terrible that she's catching the extent of the heat that she's getting? Like, it's like, damn, bitch, I don't think fucked up around the wrong person.
Word up.
Because let's be real, CO, there's people out here doing racist shit every fucking day. They're not getting harassed for it. They're able to wake up every morning without fucking death threats and all kinds of shit they're caring about in their lives. So her situation.
Okay, but someone always has to be an example. There has to be a lesson somewhere.
That's my point. My point is that she was in the wrong place at the wrong time around the wrong motherfucking camera phone.
Word. But
the point is that she is the example that motherfuckers need to just start realizing. Yes. Like, there's actions, there's a reaction to every action. Let's say if that was a real 911 call and cops would have went out there and shit would have got out of hand. Like, the girl that got slammed by police about a year or so ago from like a little pool party in the summertime just reached a settlement with the police.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, over a year later, I mean, those were kids. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, lives are at risk when you calling this 911. Like, you just never know how shit gonna go. So
let us all learn from Miss Permit Patty.
Yo, everybody just chill, yo. Everybody just chill.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I can't even get into this other shit.
No, you have to. You can't make that face and then not say nothing.
All right. Look, okay. I just want y'all to know that this shit I'm about to say, if the wrong person listens to this podcast, like this might cause me some problems at my job.
Really?
Yeah.
So do we just want to skip it then?
No, I'll just do it because it's the truth. So we recently started towing cars at my job. And it's the summertime.
Yeah, it's hot out here, man.
And I'm just saying, when people come to get their cars and they see us not there, I just don't want the wrong customer to turn up on me, bro.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a thing.
I'm just saying, like, whether it's calling the cops or getting any type of authorities involved, sometimes it's not worth, like, all the backlash that can happen. Like, you gotta think about what the fuck you're doing sometimes, you know? Like, I get that there's rules and legalities. I'm just relating this to the permit patty thing. I understand you need a permit to sell water, but it's like you gotta like pick your battles wisely sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's just not worth it.
I understand that selling a bottle of water could turn into something else, or towing someone's car could turn into something else.
You may be doing more harm than justice, because at the end of the day, shit can come back towards you.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you.
Yo, I got 2 music comments, but before we move on, you got any in the news, any pop stories, current events, anything?
I have one thing before I get into some personal shit. So there's a Netflix show. I don't know if you've seen it or if any of our listeners have seen it. It is called Cooking on High.
Yes.
Girl, let me tell you. So I've been binging a little bit on it.
Okay.
And it's Cooking on High. For those of you who haven't watched it or are not aware what it is basically cannabis. It's a cannabis cooking show. So they make, what would you call it, bud butter?
Can of butter.
Weed butter.
It's called can of butter.
It's called can of butter?
Yeah, like you can actually buy it out on the West Coast, but it's called can of butter.
So they basically cook what you would consider one of those munchies meals.
Because that's how you make brownies. Like wheat brownies is with the can of butter.
Yes. So they cook a meal that they're asking for, whether it's afternoon meal, a snack or whatever, but with the butter. And then they have the judges kind of like Chopped. And then the judges taste the food. Now, mind you, this is made out of cannabis, so sometimes they're getting really, really, really high. I just think it's so cool to watch. It's so cool to watch. And a lot of these people that go to these shows are legit stoners. Like, I seen one today, and the guy was like, the girl was explaining what she cooks, and she's like, oh, this is cod, and blah, blah, blah. The dude eats it, and he goes, I just want to say I've never ate fish before, and this is amazing.
Wow, that's funny.
He's like, I've just been opened up to a whole new food group. Like, it was crazy. It's a really, really, really good show.
I like that the episodes are short.
They're super short.
Which
says a lot.
I have a few technicalities that I just really don't fuck with.
What's that?
Like, I just feel like they try to hype up these judges like they're celebrities, and they spend so much time on them. It's like, we don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, I mean, but someone's got to start somewhere. Maybe this is their intro to something.
Yeah, and that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. My second issue is that when you have edibles or any type of can of butter or whatever, that shit takes like 2 hours almost. Around 2 hours before you even start to feel high, which leads me to wonder if some of these people show up to the thing high.
Oh, for sure. I think so, because
cool.
I was watching one of the episodes, and the guy was like, hey, how are you guys feeling? The host. And the guy that was a judge was like blazed.
See, here's the thing. I feel like everything tastes good when you're high.
That's true.
I feel like when you're high, you go to eat shit, you be like, oh my God.
It's like you never tasted it before.
Good. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, I mean, it's an entertaining concept, and I'm really looking forward to a day when shit like this is actually on regular food.
Yeah, for sure.
TV.
And it doesn't have to be on Netflix. I think it's pretty cool that, and to touch on your point of saying that the episodes are really short, I think that that's purposely done. You know, people are probably high while they're watching it, and they want to keep it to a limited, time frame.
It's a Netflix original. Netflix is doing things that like TV ain't gonna do, and I really enjoy that.
And they literally come in in before they start cooking, and with the bud, and they describe the name. They say the name of the bud, what it has, if it's an indica or a sativa, if it's a hybrid. They give a breakdown on it, so it's kind of like even educational in a sense.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
pretty cool. I do have to admit, because if I don't, I know Jonathan will be like, you should have said. Yo, I'm so dumb when it comes to double entendres.
Really?
Nigga, like the every kiss begins with K.
Oh my God.
That I didn't get that until years later. One day I was walking in the mall and I was like, oh, every kiss begins with K.
And you were like, it really does. Kiss does start with K.
The letter K. Oh, okay. So it's been like 3 or 4 times I came across this cooking on high thing. And I'm like, oh, wow. Cooking on high. Like the temperature. I was like, yeah, I really struggle with double entendres.
You're funny.
That's why.
Which is weird because you're so smart.
But I'm dumb with certain things. Like there's this song on Jay-Z's American Gangsta. The one where he's rapping about heroin like it's a chick.
I'd have to listen to.
I know.
Oh yes.
She want that old
thing. So you thought
back,
he was only talking about a girl?
At first I did, but there were certain things he says, like some of his bars, like I'm catching them on the second and third and fourth and fifth listen. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh, yes. So maybe it's a good thing. I can kind of enjoy it in doses,
in an innocent way too.
Yeah, I'm just dumb when it comes to double entendres sometimes. Yeah, Cooking on High.
Cooking on High. If you guys haven't watched it, check it out. Let us know what you think.
Yay.
You want to go?
Yeah. Tiana Taylor came out with Keep That Same Energy.
Yes.
Meh.
I didn't like all of it, but there was Gotta Love. What was the name of that song? Gotta Love.
There's 2
Gotta
songs
Love Me
that I like.
Gotta Love Me. Is that what it's called?
Not sure. I like the one that's Rose from the Concrete or whatever. And then there's another song.
I think it's Gonna Love Me. Yeah, Gonna Love Me.
Rose in Harlem, and I think Gonna Love Me.
Yeah, I liked Gonna Love Me.
Oh yes,
that's my favorite.
I love that song. I love that song.
Play it a little bit,
yeah,
just in case people haven't heard it.
I really like that song.
Yeah, that's one of my
faves. I
hate
how short it is.
She's talented.
I like her runs. I'm gonna tell you what I hate though.
TT, I see you.
That song 3-Way is not for me. And Hurry was okay before she started doing the Janet Jackson moans.
I mean,
and then it was like, oh my gosh, you're taking it too far.
I think I think she might be inspired by Janet because I get a lot of Janet vibes from her.
Yeah. And I'm like in Steak and Shake trying to order a fucking milkshake. And you're like, it's like, I'm like, Jonathan, turn it down. I didn't tell him to turn it down, but I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I liked Gonna Love Me for sure.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm looking at social media, and apparently the version of this Rose in Harlem.
Yes.
Apparently there's an original version that's not this version.
Really?
And apparently fans somehow heard it and say they wish that the other version would have made the album. And Tiana like tweeted back saying, yeah, I wish it did too.
What?
And that supposedly she's liking other people's shady comments on Twitter about the album. Like people are saying that they feel Kanye ruined the album, this, that, and the third. And that how she should leave good music and all this shit. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't gather any of those feelings while listening to the album.
Wow.
I mean, even in listening to her previous albums, I never felt I'm like, oh, she's a talented girl. She's got a sweet little voice. I just kind of feel like, I don't know. I just felt like this album wasn't for me. That was the overall feeling. Like, it's not for me.
Yeah. There's some tracks on there that I enjoyed. I don't think that it's necessarily as hype worthy as most people are making it seem. She is an extremely talented person. However, question, do you feel like as talented as she may be, because even artists that are at their prime, they have things that they can work towards to better themselves in. Do you feel that she's getting the attention that she deserves as an artist, or that there is more that good music can be doing for her?
Neither. I mean,
really?
Yeah, I personally, when I look at Teyana Taylor, I don't feel that being a singer is her calling.
What do you see her as?
I feel that
she's a choreography
and dance
sure.
is, I feel like if you have a song in your heart, let it out. But I feel that the area of dance and these other things that she's got going on, like that seems more like in place to me. And the thing that's kind of dumb, in my opinion, okay, she's like this goalie ass dancer, right?
Yeah.
She should have made music that she could really showcase her dancing skills.
Yeah, instead of some slow jams.
Like, I just feel like R&B is not my thing, and for me, it's I
love R&B.
I just want to see her, like Sierra, for example. Sierra could dance her ass off. Her singing is,
but she knew to stick to certain music.
Yeah, boom, boom,
1,
boom,
2
boom.
step.
Like, she makes shit you could dance to, and then you see the bitch dance, you like, I don't even give a fuck about the singing no more. The dancing is off the chain.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of feel that would be a smarter business move in my opinion. But
yo, can you move my dog from there? Because she's going to knock these headphones down. Thanks.
Anyway, but I mean, I'm happy for her. I just don't feel she's going to achieve the level of success that she's envisioning in her mind and that she's fully capable of, because you see trash ass artists out here that are getting, placed at the top of the charts and all this shit. And I don't know. I don't feel I know enough about the dynamic between her and Kanye. Yeah. I felt like when I saw some of those tweets and posts about him ruining her album, I stumbled upon some shit that I didn't even know was going on.
Yeah, I think that the way that I see her in to piggyback off of what you're saying, I do see her as a dancer. She should definitely be like into choreography, maybe even teaching other people like video moves or like wherever she can fit in. I also see her as a fashionista. Like she's like her whole swag, the way she dresses herself. I think it's so dope because it's very like hood, but she puts a twist to it that is almost kind of chic at the same time. I feel her vibe when it comes to clothing, and that may be something that she can even partner up with Ye with and do something there. Like, in my opinion,
let me give 2 examples. Like Cassie, for example.
Yeah.
The shaved head thing was many, many moons ago.
Right.
Okay. She's good at features. Like, she's good at being on features. Solo projects, it's like, You know what I mean? I feel like Ty Dolla $ign has figured out that solo projects, like, he's going to obviously still put them out.
But it's not his forte.
But him, whenever he's featuring on some shit, he makes shit fire.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that the dynamics are like that, but it's just...
But I think that's not that... I think that's smart because...
Maybe she should be on more features,
I think that's smart because some people realize in time, like what you're saying about Ty Dolla $ign, is that you're not necessarily an artist, quote unquote. It's a brand. You are a brand at this point. So you showing face to certain people's things or events, you are a brand. It's not like you're going to go out here and perform. You may, but it's not where your strong point is at, your strong suit.
I think she realizes she's a brand. My thing is that I don't want to continue to see the disappointment of Teyana Taylor, that every time she drops an album, the shit doesn't go that well. I want her to take some time, and if she wants to do the singing thing, I want to see her networking more, being featured more on people's shit. But that's people begging you for the music.
But that's what I'm saying. But because there's a machine behind her, machine being good music, I feel like they know every step to take in order to make that happen for her.
Sometimes that shit can be forced, fam.
I feel you. But listen, we had many artists out here that are nowhere near the caliber of artists that they should be, and they be popping because of a machine behind them.
As a body of work, that album did not take me on a journey that I could relate to.
I agree to that. I just feel like not only as an individual can she be doing more, or maybe even venturing on a different route, but I feel like the machine can do something for her, in my opinion.
When we talk about the machine, I look at careers like Pink.
Yeah.
Pink was the prime example of what a machine behind an artist can do, and they pulled her so far away from what
she really was.
Yes, from her what she was organically, and I don't necessarily feel that it's a good thing either. I just think it has to be the right blend. Do you know? I don't
feel like we live in that space anymore, though. I feel like we are such a complicated, complex group of individuals now, especially in that industry, that I don't necessarily think that they're caring too much about switching you up anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Another thing is that she's shown her gully side, like when she was at the hip hop honors. Like, I'd be forgetting that she does R&B. Like, I'd be expecting her to like spit some bars.
Yo, even the way her mannerisms, the way that she talks, all of that. I'm like, yo, this is a hood ass bitch.
Which, by the way, I've been forgetting to ask you, have you seen her in the latest version of Honey?
Oh yeah, Honey 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I stopped watching after the second one. Yeah, but I did see it.
She has some decent dance moves, but the movie itself was trash.
Of course.
Anyway, speaking of people who sing and then cross over to rap or whatever, did you get to hear Everything Is Love by the Carters?
No.
Jay-Z and Beyonce?
No.
Love it.
Yeah?
Love it. Like we discussed last week, it does come off like a Beyonce album featuring Jay-Z or whatever. But this is like music that's made for grown folk who have been in relationships.
What's it called again?
Everything Is Love.
I'm about to listen.
Jonathan and I were just talking about this one verse that Jay had. Genius, Friends. Their song Friends, I connect with so much. Like, it's so corny, but I'm like, yes, like he just talks about the dynamic of friendships and all this shit. And he kind of touches on the fact that him and Beyonce didn't go to Kim and Kanye's wedding.
Oh, I think I briefly heard someone discussing this, but I didn't get to hear like the exact verbiage.
Well, this is what he said. He said, here we go. He goes, I ain't going to nobody nothing when me and my wife beefing. I don't care if the house on fire. I'm dying, nigga. I ain't leaving. And
I heard that Becky was at the wedding.
Really?
Becky with the good hair
was at Kanye
and Kim's wedding, which is
who did anybody ever confirm who Becky was?
Yeah, Rebecca Roy. Rachel Roy. Rachel Roy. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Rebecca. Else. Maybe because I said Becky, but it's Rachel Roy, which is a fashion designer. I believe.
I also heard that Becky was suspected to be
Amber Rose.
Nah.
Who?
The other girl that everybody wonders what she sings, but apparently Rita Ora.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard that.
Yeah, because after Lemonade dropped, she was wearing like a lemon bra or something, like it was some weird shit.
I don't know, but I've heard Joe Budden discussing this on his podcast actually, and he's like, who's Rachel Roy? And they told him who Rachel Roy was. Yeah. And because he was confusing her for Rachel Ray, the cook. And they showed him a picture of her, and he's like, oh shit. Oh, that's shit.
James'
he's
ex-wife,
like,
right?
Yeah, he's like, this is James' ex-wife. No, I don't know if it's James' ex-wife.
It is James' ex-wife.
No, but what he was saying on the podcast, he was saying, he's like, these are the Def Jam days. He's like, I remember her being around a lot. And then he goes, oh shit, I just connected mad shit in my head right now. Oh, what the fuck? Let's move on. Oh, boy. Yes, nigga.
So I was actually reading an article where Jay-Z in late 2017 admitted to the cheating. And what he was talking about was like, and I felt him for this shit. He was like, when you're in the streets and you got real shit that's going on, like in order for you to get your business handled, you have to disconnect emotionally from what's going on, and you got to handle your business.
Right.
And he's like, and sometimes that can happen in your marriage where you desensitize yourself and disconnect yourself emotionally from the relationship. He was like, but that opens the door to where cheating can happen and you don't feel
bad.
Anything. You don't feel like, oh, what I'm doing is bad until shit hits the fan.
Right.
And he made that general, not verbatim what I just said, but he basically said that but didn't say, oh, I cheated in with so-and-so.
That's pretty much what he's saying, though.
But he's basically saying that's how cheating on Beyonce can happen, is when you fucking detach yourself emotionally from the fact that you're fucking married. And even though your wife's Beyonce, she's still gonna get mad.
Of course.
If she finds out you fucking with some other bitch.
Yeah, I agree. That's real as fuck, though. Even the fact that he can, verbalize that and just own it. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal. I need to listen to that song, by the way. For real.
Oh, Friends?
No, Everything Is Love.
Oh, Everything Is Love is the album. Yeah. Check it out and let me know what you think, bro. I like Friends. I like a few different joints on there, but it's very mature and very relatable. I really enjoyed that. Well, what you got going on over there? I don't really have much else.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, did you delete your stuff? You're bugging.
No.
Oh. So I a friend and listener have told us about someone who she met on the app Bumble Date.
Okay.
It's a dating app that's supposedly for professionals, people who you get verified to be a professional of whatever it is that you do, and all of this fun stuff.
So basically you got to have a job.
Yeah, you have to have a job. It's basically also females make the first move. So in a lot of these dating apps, guys end up messaging girls and, bombard their inbox and say all types of crazy shit. And then they'll never leave you alone. Mm-hmm. In this app, it's kind of like Tinder, where you swipe left or swipe right depending on whether or not you're interested. Mm-hmm. But the females have to be the first ones to inbox the man, which then allows them to message you back. Mm-hmm. They can't message you first, which I thought was pretty dope. So I downloaded it. Mm-hmm. Shits and giggles, see what the fuck is out there that I obviously am not seeing in face-to-face contact.
Right.
Bruh. This shit is so, there's some things that I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then there's other things where I'm like, seriously, people, we need to get it together. Mm-hmm. Get it together. There's people that have their first picture on there with a group of individuals where you're like, okay, which one are you?
Yeah. Which one am I swiping on?
Yeah. Which one am I swiping on? There's things where there's kids in the pictures. Mm-hmm. Seriously, guys, let's figure it out. Mm-hmm. We made a list, actually, did we not?
Yeah, I just pulled up my list.
Okay.
Because Sia was telling me about this app, and I was actually looking at her during her swiping game. First of all, I want to point out something I thought you were going to say. The fact that you knew a lot of people on there.
Yo, son, yes. I'm going to tell you right now. So as I'm swiping, I'm like, swipe, 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 swipe. Nope, 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 nope. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second. I know this person. Swipe. Wait a sec. I swear I have come across about 10 people that I know.
Yeah.
Guys and girls on this app.
Okay, get your Bumble on.
You know?
Nah, I'm looking at the Bumble and I'm like, there are some things that I think you guys can do. One, no nose crust. If you got crust on your nose and you took a photo with crust on your nose, that's not the most appealing thing to post on a dating site or app or whatever. 2, get a fucking haircut.
Seriously.
No mirror selfies for the main photo. I feel like a selfie is cool if it's the right thing, but when it's just you awkwardly standing in the mirror as the main photo, I just feel like you could increase your chances by not setting that as your main.
Yeah, don't try so hard.
If you really want to be successful, I say get a photographer. That's going to make you look more important and desirable, be presentable. Please put up a recent pic, because if not, you setting yourself up for disaster.
A lot of these pictures are so old, and you could tell by the way it's pixelated. Mm-hmm. Ugh.
I feel like if you have kids and you want to show them off for whatever reason, because your kids are your world, that's cool. I would just say maybe not as the main photo. And no crop outs. So if it's you and your ex-girl in a photo,
get and
you
picture.
Cropping out your ex-girl and uploading that photo, that's lame. No crop outs. It makes you look like you got something to hide.
Facts.
Smile a little bit. Don't put up edited photos with crazy ass photo filters that make you look all cartoonized and shit like that.
Facts.
Have more than one photo. And I would say be mindful of having the group photo as the main photo, because like Seal said, it's hard to tell who it is.
Right. And like sometimes when I see those group photos and like I automatically look at everyone in the group, I see myself hoping who I think it is. Like, oh, well, he's kind of cute or she's kind of cute. Let me continue. And then it turns out to be not that person. I get really upset. Yo, there's even like couples on there looking for, like, their bio say some shit like, we've realized over time that non-monogamy is our way of life, and if you want to have fun, please reach out to us. I'm like, what the fuck, Bumble? Shit is cray out here.
Shit's cray. So best wishes to you in finding a good date on Bumble.
I don't know if it's gonna happen. It was just something worth trying, but
yeah, keep trying.
You never know.
Keep trying.
Yeah, and if anyone has had positive experiences with Bumble, let us know. We have a friend that, you know, she met her fiance on Tinder and they have a baby together now. That was Amanda. She was on one of our episodes.
Yeah. Tinder baby. Check it out.
Tinder baby. Check it out. We have another friend and she's a listener as well, Johanny. She has met and is dating someone off of Bumble. So, you know.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to say this. Someone asked me for relationship advice in the most awkward time and place recently.
Okay.
And apparently I give off the advice face. I don't know how. But if anyone wants relationship advice and you want to remain anonymous but be featured on the show, I'm thinking of dedicating a phone line, because on Google Voice you can record phone conversations.
And it'll give you a completely separate number as well.
Yes, I'm thinking about setting up a number for the show, and it could, you know whose show does that? The TK Kirkland show. Yeah. He records the whole conversation of giving relationship advice. Shout out to our boy brother Chris Tufar, who either produces or co-produces that show alongside Charlamagne the God. Shout out to y'all. Ain't nobody trying to steal y'all idea, but we trying to be entertaining. Know what I'm saying?
Shout out to brother Chris Tufar.
And I think that'll be interesting, because the person was asking me about what I would do in their situation. Basically, they were in a relationship with someone who was mentally unstable, who just broke up with them all of a sudden, and they didn't know what to do. And, you know, they're particularly young, and the person was a lot older. And I just had so much to say about that. But at the end of the day, no matter what you all may be going through, just remember to always put yourself first. Self-love, self-care is super important. And always remember that you have a lot to offer. Love shouldn't hurt, and love shouldn't just walk away.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Church to all of it.
So some of the basics I'm going to drop on you on today.
Yeah.
But if you want some thorough advice, like, just email us and we'll take it from there at conrome@gmail.com.
Yep. Or our handles are the same thing, CONRome. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you want to slide in the DMs and let us know something, let us know something. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, sorry for the late episode, but please know and understand, a bitch be hurting. I'm here though.
Yeah, we gonna be
still standing.
We will be here even if we ever again miss an episode on a Sunday, which we don't have any intentions to. But if it happens, because life is real, expect us to still upload. It will happen.
Yeah. All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll catch you soon.
Bye bye.